So for the purpose of our viewers, we are at Babbinswood Farm, Shropshire. Babbinswood.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've got a little challenge.
Yeah.
Which I think that the general public as a whole should be very concerned about. As an organic farm especially, and the fact that there is a lot less organic food being produced than what needs to be produced, in my opinion. And you're sitting on a farm that you potentially could have to leave,
yeah,
unless a sum of money can be raised to stabilise that.
Yeah.
And you've come up with some initiatives, let's say, to be able to secure that money. And one of the ways you're looking at is shares.
Yeah.
So people can buy shares in this beautiful countryside and
yeah,
what you physically got going on here. And the shares are £50 each.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, if you are wanting to buy into this beautiful concept of organic food, whether that's, even if you just believe in it for the purpose of wanting to assist, then 50 quid. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who will go, well, I believe in that and I'd be happy to chuck in more than 50 quid. And this for me is where, if you are into farming animals of any description, this to me, you know, for me is my perfect lifestyle.
good old gate. Let's just leave that. I'll just leave that too.
So how many cows have you got here?
So we've got 65 altogether.
Right.
So that's a mixture of, so pretty much all dual purpose.
Yep.
We've got a micro dairy where they keep their calves at foot.
Yep.
And then we rear the boys for beef, slow grown beef, sort of finished around the 3-year-old plus. And yeah, the dairy girls, the offspring either come into the milking herd or reared for beef suckler herd. So we're kind of mob grazing at the moment. So the dairy cows that they're in this group we're in now,
yep,
they are the mothers are in
yep,
this group now. The lactating mothers, they get the best grass, so they get this for a day.
Yep.
And then they get moved on, so they get the best pick. And then I've got my flurred, which are the young stock, and the sheep. They graze behind them for a day,
yep, yep,
and then they move.
Yep.
So we're kind of farming regeneratively.
Yep.
And trying to build soil health, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things which we've noticed as we're travelling around the country, that most of the farms we visit, unless they're organic, soil's dead,
Yeah.
completely dead. There's no life in it. You know, this is what we said earlier. You know, from our side, when we had our soil tested, 5% life, it's useless. With all intent and purpose, you can't grow anything in it. So, for me, travelling around the country and trying to get people to buy into the fact of buying good quality food and asking the question in the room, how many people want to buy chemical free food, and everyone puts their hand up. Well, it seems to me like this is a great opportunity for people to really put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so you deliver veg boxes locally, meat boxes?
Yeah, meat boxes.
And
dairy.
This is all locally?
Yeah, 50 miles of the farm.
Right.
And we do markets in Shrewsbury, Whitchurch, and support some shops over in across the border as well.
Right.
Buttling.
Okay. So how much have you got to raise?
So we've got to raise, to keep the farm together as a whole, we've got to raise 1.5 million, which is basically...
Not a lot when you say it fast.
No. Not a lot for what it is that we're selling. You know, it's 117 acres of land that will enable it to be kept in organic stewardship. Land that's got hedgerows on, that's growing good grass, it's got woodland on it, so it's a real sort of biodiverse area for nature. Land that we're hoping to open access to the local community or whoever's travelling through. And you know, it's got more benefit. You know, the land has got benefits for people as well as the animals that are
well, I think
grazing it.
this, we've just finished, haven't we, the mental health week for farming especially, and I think that's a massive issue. One of the things which I love standing here is the amount of hedgerows you've got, because where we are in East Anglia, they've ripped out all the hedgerows. It is desolate where we are now. We, you know, for me, I grew up on a dairy farm. We had 7 farms in the village that had animals. We've now got none at all. We drove from Bury St Edmunds to Ledbury before we saw any animals on a field, and I just think that's so sad and so important, because this side of it, to me, you know, the organic side and the natural fertiliser being used on the ground for nitrogen, as opposed to nitram and more chemicals and all the nonsense we go through, this to me has got to be the way forward. So you've obviously got a website.
Yes, Babbinswood Farm, cbs.co.uk.
Okay, and I'm right on there that people can make a donation.
Yeah, they can donate, and you can also go to the crowdfunder.
Yep.
Save Babbinswood Farm, where you can buy your shares or donate.
So
yeah, our business plan and everything's on there as well.
And that's all on there, so people can see that. So if I'm right in saying, so you can buy a share, which gets you 1 vote. Doesn't matter if you buy 100 shares, they still only get 1 vote. So this isn't about people taking control of the business. This is about people assisting in the business.
Yeah.
Donations, guys, we've got 75,000 followers across social media. I find it hard to believe that someone can't step in and assist on this one, because unfortunately for me, once you lose organic land, you don't get it back.
No, I don't, no.
And the problem is, even if someone steps in, you know, 100 years down the road, the damage is often done on land. And that's one of the things we're seeing going around the country, how soil is just depleted of everything. So it excites me to come somewhere like this. I've got to say, so thank you for having us on site to do this talk. And I think I just need to say that our camera woman has been very brave, because she doesn't normally stand in a cow's field full of cows.
Oh, she's got a very confident cow coming over to see her.
So Gloria normally runs away. So where they don't overly faze me, I've got to say. So is this one? This is one of the friendly mummies.
She's one of my young stocks. So she's not a mum yet.
She's not yet.
No,
so she's confident enough to come and have a cuddle still.
But they all are cuddleable. Like, you could literally cuddle them all. And that's the way I keep them. You know, I keep them. Yeah. They know me. Like I said, they only get milked once a day. All the milk gets processed on the farm into products that we can sell. They keep their calves with them. You know, it's very natural system.
So this is what you deem calf at foot?
I can't call it calf at foot, but I can call it a cow calf dairy. Yeah.
Okay, a cow calf dairy.
Yeah,
cow calf dairy. I can understand that.
Yeah, so it is. I'm trying to keep them as natural as possible with the constraints that we have in the farming world.
And we do have a few.
But it gets. This is what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about using animals, these adult sheep and cattle, as a tool to build soil by grazing them effectively, but a perfect and they give us the most nutritious product at the end of it, which is either milk or meat, and you can't get much better than that. No,
and that is when we talk about carbon cycles, and you know, we hear about net zero. I mean, net zero is my favourite term, because most people don't seem to understand that the gas of life is carbon dioxide, and if we get rid of it to net zero, we won't be here, because everything around us relies on it.
She wants to come and say hello to you.
She's desperate to come and see you, Glory. We might have to let her in. Okay, so
Neve.
This, to me, this bit here is one of the things. We were on a farm the other day, and they were saying that when they took on their land now 2 years ago, on the bit they were grazing where we went, there was nothing at all. There was no bugs in the ground eating the manure and so forth, and eating the muck up. And one of the things they found, they've got 9 different varieties now of dung beetles that are in the muck, and turning it back into compost for the ground. And that's the regenerative side of things. You know, we hear certain buzzwords in the industry, don't we? Regenerative is one of the things people like to talk about on the realms of, you know, with we're planting trees, we're doing this to regenerate. But, you know, they don't really and truthfully want to get into the whole, you know, the whole of it. So they want to come and have a cuddle with mum. You can see that. That's all they're after. So,
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, like my dad, he's in Uganda now. That's where he farms, and he says if you're going to grow trees, that's where you want them, because they grow fast. They are a good carbon source, and they hold carbon. Why are we planting trees? I mean, there is a necessity for more trees in the right place.
In the right place.
But taking out grassland, which is a massive carbon dioxide sink, growing soil, feeding people. Why are we replacing it with trees? Trees in the right place. I mean, I'm keen on agroforestry systems, trees that trees that can feed us, trees that can provide us timber, mulch, like you're talking about the willow for remedial sort of wood chip and all that sort of stuff. Fabulous, but in the right place.
And it's like, I was on a Jim Ferguson show the other night, and there was an Australian guy in there, and he was talking about solar farming. And I said solar farm, and he said, don't ever call it that. He said, it's solar destruction. He said, no one should ever call it farming, and it's right, isn't it? We're given all these lovely keywords, which we have to, we were coming, some of the places we visited, they're just desecrating the world just because of solar farming, just to get this energy, where best one in the world, build a coal-fired power station, as far as I'm concerned. So, well, it's lovely to come and see what you're up to, and I'm sure there's other bits of the farm we'll get to see off camera. But okay, so just remind us on that website.
Okay, so the farm website is babbinswoodfarm.co.uk. Pixie, go away. And the Community Benefit Society website is what you're buying shares in. That's babbinswoodcbs.org.uk.
Okay, fantastic. So guys, it's down to you guys now. We've done our bit. We've come out and interviewed. We're here before we head to Cheshire to go and see Barbara O'Neill tomorrow. So if anyone can help, guys, it's now down to you. Please like, share and spread the word and spread the love.